Hello, something guys and gals. This is the something guy, or at least the 912th something guy. Thinking about changing that number. It's just kind of just a cropped out portion of my username. I want to make it 1014 because that number always keeps popping up. So why not? Anyhow, that's not about that. This is just a little afterthought. So I thought Anita Sarkeesian. Oh yeah, I threw that name out. Ooh, spam my comment feed with oh my god, how dare you or whatnot, or she's a piece of shit and whatnot. But anyway, I thought Anita Sarkeesian was a somewhat relevant a relevant topic back in like 2011 or 12. I didn't think that she actually had these videos up on 2013 because I thought I saw people making statements about her, refuting her proposal that tropes in women in video games exist. And there's been a lot of people who have been defending her opinions. Well, not particularly what she has to state, but defending that she can have them. And I agree. It's just these people who have who pretty much say that she's a fucking cunt and she should die and they're gonna fucking ass rape her and whatnot. They do nothing. They're just baseless, reactionary, in the moment shit. And worst of all is that it does nothing to refute what she claims is apparently misogynistic in video games. They just, in fact, reinforce that statement by how they react like a bunch of fucking little children when someone has a dissenting opinion. But it doesn't mean that Anita is free of criticism. There's a lot to be said. For starters, she's a feminist. She's collectively identifying herself as a feminist, which seems a little problematic because if she's here for the social change of all, why would she identify herself into a social structure that is based solely around just addressing the issues of females? Secondly, there's a video that says she doesn't like video games and whatnot, and she thinks it's icky when she, lobs off the heads of, I don't know what fucking game she's playing that has heads lobbing off all the time. I know there's a few, and there's a few quite a bit games that shoot a lot, but it's like she's just making the presumption that all games are just completely violent, which in her stance, I think that's her greater issue, is that video games are more violent than video games are dissenting towards sexism. Thirdly, she started a Kickstarter in order to start her series, but strangely enough, she didn't really need that money to begin with. For starters, she had stolen content from other YouTubers without any permission whatsoever. And strangely enough, since she has the money, I guess she can get away with it. YouTube doesn't flag her. They don't they don't flag her video for, misrepresentation of ID, because, the content ID system of YouTube is just fucked. It only benefits the big companies and doesn't affect, true artists, people who actually made their shit. Their shit can be easily stolen with no label or whatnot. So she pretty much got $600,000 just to steal other people's content, and not only that, but take that content out of context to try to form the assertion that feminism misogyny in video games exists. I mean, what the fuck did she use that money for? The fucking video transitions? Do you think she actually spent that money on the video games themselves? I highly doubt it. If she's taking content from other games and she's using that solely to benefit her own bigotry and her own status quo about feminism and tropes existing. She doesn't find evidence to support her conclusion. She makes a conclusion and finds facts that support it, which isn't the correct method of research. So that's just a few of the issues. The whole her whole status of the damsel in distress can easily be refuted if you actually fucking think for a second and consider that, hey, calling her a cunt isn't going to stop. It's not going to, defeat whatever she has to say. Of course, it's not. Of course it's not. It's just going to give her the ability to use that as a means of reinforcing her statement about misogyny. Even though there was a reporter saying, you ever heard of not feeding the trolls? And that really sunk her down. It's like, yeah, slap that ass, kind of, essentially. But if you're going to have a criticism, have it. Because calling someone out as a fucking cunt and a fucking hoe bag and they should die and whatnot, it's just childish and literally does not take any fucking ingenuity or any insight on the matter other than just, looking at it, just looking at it on scale and just giving it the bird all the time. Just that. It's just like with, Grand Theft Auto 5. When somebody rated a 9 out of 10, which I say it's a pretty nice score. And that person was being berated just because she said that there's a lot of if I recall, a lot of violence and I think somewhat noticeable stream of feminism, even though I didn't really notice that. And people were saying that's not a valid reason. Sure, but does that person really deserve all that hate just because she didn't give what the gamers wanted? I mean, these are the kind of people that really do expect games to be pandered and just mainstreamed down because, they want all games to be fucking perfect. They want high ratings with no fucking, dissenting opinion whatsoever. They just pander and pander and pander. I mean, I wouldn't get pissed off if somebody rated GTA 5 a 9 out of 10. I'd probably give that score after, several playthroughs of it. I mean, I'm having a blast with it. There's a little bit of some minor tripes with it, but I would just say, yeah, I'd pretty much just be like everyone else. I would just say, okay, yeah, that's not a particularly valid reason to rate it down. But so what? It's still pretty damn fucking flawless. That's like an A- in terms of school grades. I mean, did I get pissed off whenever I got an A- on my report? It's like, fuck, I want an A+. Look at teachers all be, shitty fucking cunt and whatnot. Yeah, totally. I totally did something like that. Or, like, when somebody rates it, a little bit lower, like a 6 out of 10 for, like, what was it? I forgot what it was called. Dragons, shit. Well, anyway, yeah. I mean, if you don't like what Anita Sarkeesian has to say, alright. But the thing that you do, if you don't want to have to deal with this cunt again, if you don't like what she has to say, you just pause it, you turn off the laptop, you turn off the laptop, you turn off a different tab, go to a different tab, or watch a different video. You just don't say these stupid fucking things that really don't have any bearing on reality whatsoever. It's just kind of just, like I said, reactionary, in the moment. But if you are upset with what she has to say, you have to make sure you have some legitimate concerns, legitimate criticisms, because hating, it's like bigotry in itself. It's like, you know, a white supremacist hates a black man because he hates a black man. That's just so fucking ignorant. They have no goddamn reason for it. They just hate because they hate, because they can. It's with homosexuality and Christianity too. Like, their homophobia is largely influenced by, you know, their own love for their own hate, their own contempt for it. They get to rise it up on the staple and say that God doesn't like homosexuals, so I don't like homosexuals, and that's fine. That it's justified now, or whatnot. Or that, you know, they don't support same-sex marriage because it's the right way. So it kind of makes me wonder, are atheists the one without moral principle, or is it the Christians are lacking moral principle? Because if they think it's the right way to disregard the freedom of sexuality of so many other people, then fuck them. They don't have any morals. They're just bound by whatever their book tells them and whatnot. But yeah, that's pretty much essentially the same thing. They just hate because they hate. They have no reason. They have no reason why homosexuality or same-sex marriage is bad. They have no reason why black people are so bad, or why they hate black people. These people who comment on Anita's video really don't have a reason why they don't like what she has to say, because they don't know what to say. They just say whatever's just on the tip of their fucking tongue, and they just go blah 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 blah, fuck you, you know, fuck you, go die, you cunt, rape you, whatnot, and all that. They just hate because they can. So if you have an opinion, if somebody has opinion, you should at least give them that opinion. But don't take it like as if people are saying that you can't have a valid criticism. But a criticism is not in the form of just you know, going to someone, making death threats, cursing them, and cursing them, and cursing them. Because all you are doing when you do that is that you are reevaluating the sending person's opinion further because of how you react to it. So, yes, that's really all I have to say for this video. What, you want me to do peace the fuck out or something like that? I'm just gonna, you know, shut up right here. So, I hope that brought some insight to you, at least.